All right, Nick, I said it was the last thing I was going to talk about, but I'm going to ask you to kind of walk through what Cleo can do for folks.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Cleo, we really wanted to, bring the magic of LLMs and AI into the platform as well. We wanted to be thoughtful about that, so we have a number of controls in place to be able to control that. So before we touch any of the functionality that things can happen in there, I do want to talk about how you can actually turn off AI, right? So Brian mentioned a couple of those switches at both the higher level of turning things off from, it's under the general, yeah. So you can turn off all of AI in the organization, or you can just turn off analyzing uploads. So as we were waiting for that one document to get analyzed for Brian to be able to then access it, you can actually stop the AI from actually looking at any of that information, or just turn it off completely. So that's one of the things there. Then if you go to security profile real quick on that same menu there, yeah, we're not putting any company identifiable or personally identifiable information into the LLM. We are only adding information that will help the LLM provide better, a better output to the client. And part of that is understanding a little bit more about what the client is doing. And so we're able to pull in some of this metric, but this all can be controlled by you or the client for that matter. If you don't want to put anything in here, then great. The LLM will provide you a generic response. If you add some of this information in, it'll pull that in as context as well. One other note on context, we are not storing or training on any of the data that's pushed to the LLM. All of that data, all of your chats are all ephemeral. Once that context window has been lapsed, that data is gone and it's not being used for the LLM and all of that. Okay, so that's all the policy and boring stuff about the LLM, but did want to show you kind of like how all that works. So now that Brian has filled all this out, we can actually ask the LLM information about, hey, what product should I use to help me fulfill this particular question? So now it's going to pull in all of the information from that security place and provide you with products that are going to help you do this, that fit in line with that information in there. So we identified that we use AWS and Azure. It's going to tell us why Qualys is going to be helpful in that, and so it's going to give us some of that information in there, be able to help kind of drive that. So there's a way to help. There's a way to kind of help drive this information being pulled out. Yeah, exactly. If we don't like something or we want to do something else, again, you can ask the LLM, Cleo. She'll then provide you with a different response about that. We do provide any sort of directional kind of questioning after you do respond to something. So just helping you kind of get to the next place, like what do I need to do once I have this sort of in place, or I do this other thing. Here's a list of of competing tools against Qualys. Since we don't like Qualys, it's going to provide us a number of different other options there. The other, yeah, so go ahead and finish that.
Sorry.
No, all good. The other thing with the LLM is that it's tied to everything inside of a real CISO here. So you can ask it about controls. You can ask it about your current posture. You can ask it about, if a particular document is adequate. Is my security policy, flushed out enough for the organization? It can look at all of that stuff and pull that into the context and then give you a response through that. To be able to do that, yeah.
Hope I had good grammar, but okay.
So there we go. So we need to actually do some more work on that cybersecurity policy so that it can pull that in. So really just kind of defining things and giving you an idea of where things are going. So this is the sort of unguided or unassisted LLM access that we have inside of the system. Again, it knows everything about the system. You can ask it questions about, like, how do I satisfy a framework? Whatever. I don't know what frameworks we have set up in here. Is it if you go to the settings there, I think CSF might be in here. Yeah, perfect. Like how do I meet CSF 2.0 questions or controls? It'll walk us through kind of how to do that. It'll identify questions that need to be answered and how we can answer those things. This is the less fun way to do stuff. This is certainly a way to do things. We can get good information and do all of that. We wanted people to, one, have an assistant inside of your organization, inside of your customer's organization, so you can even ask it things like that, and get kind of that information. The really interesting way, though, is through workflows. And so workflows, we wanted to kind of give a little bit more guardrails into how to actually drive to work into something. So basically, you're going to give a workflow a goal. So you're going to tell it, I want to be ready for SOC 2, or I want to complete the CSF 2.0 framework. Maybe I want to focus on the identity controls. Whatever the case may be, you can apply that in here. As he's writing those, you can attach any framework you want to it. So even though we've made the CSF specific to the CSF, we can actually add it to anything, and it will try to find the right controls in order to answer those things. Down below that, he jumped.
Oh, sorry.
Down below that, there was also an ability to add in documents. If you just go back, so Cleo will work on that, and we'll go through that. This is probably one of the cooler features in here. So what we can do is we can pull in any document that's in the system. You can see that asset management document that he pulled in. So we'll attach that into the system there, and then so just click off of that, and then so add a goal for that. Let's say let's add answer asset management procedure questions. Great. And then she doesn't care if your grammar's not right, so don't stress.
Thank God. While she's doing that, we can come back to the NIST one.
Yeah, exactly. So what it's going to do is going to go in, look at everything that you've done, figure out what questions to kind of go over, and then provide you recommended responses based on the documentation or any of the information that's inside the system already. So inside the system, we've already answered yes, and at level 3, Cleo agrees with us, and her reasoning behind it is written there down below. I don't know if you go down, maybe there's one on this page or the next page that she doesn't agree on. It looks like she agrees with everything we've done. That's great. That feels very, very uplifting. Yeah.
There we go.
So where it doesn't agree, or maybe we've answered something else, it's going to also show you that, and then you can actually agree with it. You can hit confirm. Confirming will basically just acknowledge that you're like, yeah, I want to change my answer from what it was to what the AI is recommending. That's what we're going on there. The really cool thing with workflows, I think, is really with the document upload and being able to put things in here. I've put in a cybersecurity policy without having any information inside the system. I've selected frameworks that I wanted to answer and just had a cybersecurity policy. I said, hey, go answer all the questions you can with this evidence. It did that. It attached the evidence. It attached that document as evidence to any of those controls inside the system. It's pretty incredible how that all works inside of here. So that is, I think, the cool magic inside of workflows. They're really, like, as I mentioned before, you can put anything in here. I mean, you could put things that are not cybersecurity related. It might not know what exactly to do with that. But if you took a picture of a firewall config, if you took a policy document, if you took an old report and wanted to answer, a framework inside of Real CISO, you could do all of those things. It'll guide you through that with why it's answering any of the specific answers with the reasoning and everything behind it.
Yeah, you could take a V1 report and bring it into version 2.0.
Yeah,
I have uploaded screenshots of group policy screens to prove that lockouts were set for after 15 minutes of inactivity, and it appropriately was able to align that to the control that was looking for it.